Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddham dhammang sanghang namassami. I'm going to mention a few ideas before we start our meditation. My theme for this week is about emptiness or sunyata. There are two sides of emptiness which can be connected together into a system by way of dependent causation, arising and cessation. In terms of the arising of dukkha, which is just about everything or a high percentage of everything that we experience in our samsaric world, in the conditioned world, until we have moments of realization. One may have the thought or the, I could say the inquiry. You could ask yourself, is this true or not? That this I is empty of self, empty of anything that belongs to the self. And those visual objects, empty of self, or anything that belongs to the self. This I is empty of any permanent, unchanging nature. And the visible objects are empty of any permanent, unchanging nature. So even before we have realized the escape, even if we are dancing the dance of this conditioned world, it's still possible to do that contemplation. Impermanence, conditionality, emptiness of the self. There's a different side to the equation, which is about cessation, the cessation of dukkha. And this side has a kind of a practical contemplation that while a person is practicing the boundless meditation, as we have been doing for these past 3 months, one could enter and remain for a while in a state where the mind has become very still, very detached from any kind of agitation resulting from the senses or from thoughts. And then within that stillness, it's possible to notice the reactivity of the mind has ceased, or one could notice that certain kind of sensations or perceptions have ceased. One could notice that thoughts about the past and future have ceased during the meditation, or one could notice that the if the mind is fully absorbed in the sensation of the rise and fall of the breath, that everything else has ceased except that one thing. And so contemplating the emptiness there is to be aware of what is present and also to be aware of what is not present, to be aware of that which has come to cessation. And this is setting up the mind to be able to be on the track where greed, hatred, and delusion cease, where the taint of clinging to the sensual world has ceased, where the taint of longing for any kind of existence has ceased, where the taint of ignorance has ceased, nibbana. So the abiding in emptiness, this is called in Pali the shunyata vihara. And then contemplating the emptiness of the conditioned world is sunyaloka. So those are the two sides of the equation. So if the mind is in the conditioned world, or things arising uh, of cause and effect, of being obliged to do the dance of conditionality, always one thing after another, then you should mindfully contemplate this the emptiness of all of the things that are arising. This is not mine, not me, not myself. If you are, especially through boundless meditation, if you are able to experience that some of the endless parade of things arising because of conditions, that some parts have dropped away, dropped out, no longer present, if one can experience the emptiness of that which is not present during the meditation, then you could abide in that emptiness. So those are the two sides. I've put the name of a book in the chat. It's called The Notion of Emptiness in Early Buddhism. And the author is a very lovely, wonderful scholar named Chung Moon Keat. So that you will know that I stand on the shoulders of the wonderful thinkers and practitioners in our modern times. I don't just read the sutras and come up to these insights or these ways of looking all by myself. Let us sit for meditation for a while. Coming to an upright and balanced posture. Aware of the physical body. How this body is telling a story about what's going on. If the body is calm or restless, holding aches and pains, or free from aches and pains, holding any anything tight, or being relaxed, just acknowledging what it's like right now to be alive with this body made out of flesh. Letting go of thoughts about the past or thoughts about the future. Just bringing in this one thought, the thought of compassion. May everyone realize the end of dukkha. May I realize the end of dukkha. Inside, outside, everywhere, all around. The thought of compassion, intending the end of dukkha. Radiating in front with no boundary. Boundless compassion. End of dukkha in front. And on the right side, compassion. Intending the end of dukkha to all beings on the right side with no boundary, filling all the space on the right side. And radiating behind boundless compassion and of dukkha for everyone behind. And on the left side, radiating without any boundary, compassion for everyone, the end of dukkha for everyone on the left side. And filling the space above with boundless compassion. May all the beings above us realize the end of dukkha, radiating boundless compassion. And radiating below us, all the beings below, with no boundary, filling the whole space below with boundless compassion. Filling the space inside with boundless compassion. Filling every cell in the body with boundless compassion. Touching the entire body with boundless compassion. Inside, outside, everywhere, all around. Boundless compassion. Compassion inside, compassion outside. Just only compassion. Letting the mind be empty of everything except compassion. There is only compassion, the boundless space element filled with compassion. Everything else can drop off. Only boundless space, only compassion. aware of the end of dukkha, aware of whatever is not here, aware of compassion. Compassion is here, affliction not here, to whatever extent, clearly aware what is present and what is not present. Sambe satta avera to all beings free of anger. Sambe satta abhyapajo unto all beings free of ill will. Abhisatta anika unto all beings free from oppression. Sukhi atanam pariharantu. Only happiness remains all around, in every way. Nothing left but happiness. And when you're ready, gently coming out of meditation, aware of what it's like right now, what happened in this meditation. Dear friends, these few minutes are time for your questions about meditation, or could be any observation about how this type of meditation works for you. And I am welcoming everybody who's present here online and those who are here in the room today. Okay, Chintana.
I would like to express that this is the most I've been able to have boundlessness in expressing metta. Um, Usually it stops. It worked very well this time. I actually felt I was, when we were sending compassion down, I realized it wasn't down into the ground, it was down into space. And I was basically kind of in a gyroscope. And when I was understanding anatta, I did come to a point where it was just one pointedness of energy to give out. And then I wondered if that was actually there because of anatta. And then yeah, okay.
Thank you. Good report. And we know for sure that some of these insights that come up within the meditation, like what's happening, they don't create too much disturbance to the meditation. It only takes a flash of a moment for some idea about what's happening to arise, and then one is able to continue sustaining the theme of how the awareness is directed. So I'm glad that this was seemed to be good. Let me ask you another question. This is for everybody. Setting up awareness grounded in the body seems to me necessary for any meditation to take off successfully. In part because when the mind is unhooked from the body, it's so easy for our thoughts to go here, there, and everywhere, and to become lost in thought. So being connected to the body is good, and somehow at the same time, is this true for you? At the same time, are you able to know that you have a body and also know the boundlessness?
For me, I knew there was an energy source, but I wouldn't call it, it was a body of energy, but
Yeah,
it wasn't necessarily this. But
yeah,
there was something that was there so that it could give.
yeah, good. Thank you. Okay, I'll call on Sydney.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the focusing on what is not there, what is not present, was very helpful because I tend to get very focused on what is there, like what's arising, what thoughts are arising,
Yeah,
what feelings are arising. And so
yeah,
that was
yeah,
very helpful.
yeah.
Um, but I had a question about how do you personally combat like sleepiness and lethargy in your own meditation? Because I feel like, yeah, the body is tired, but the mind is always going. And so kind of trying to stimulate wakefulness and alertness. I was wondering how you do that.
Okay. First of all, for any kind of the afflictions or hindrances that come along, doing a lot of observation about what's really happening. And so many times things are like in layers, and one thing is covering another, or one thing is a manifestation of another thing. So for me, like I could notice that sometimes sleepiness is because of aversion. Like being in a state of aversion, that kind of negativity, is really tiring. It's like super boring, and then it can lead to sleepiness. So then, if I can blow away the aversion, then the mind comes back to its bright state. So doing some kind of investigation like that could be very helpful. My original teacher, Bhante Gunaratana, said that at the physical level, there's some kind of if you take the part of the ear that's got the ligament, like the stiff, part of the ear right there, and squeeze it like really, really hard for about a minute. That's supposed to be a kind of a acupressure technique that relieves sleepiness. And second of all, it's recommended that one should consider meditating in a standing posture because it's not that easy to fall asleep in the standing posture. It's possible, but not so easy. Or else, if you would go outside and find a cliff with a steep or a log or a treehouse or something, and sit on the edge where you don't want to fall over, and that could also help to, or else one could just think like about how fragile this life is, about the danger, like you could die today, and whatever you didn't take care of would be something that you might be stuck with for eons. And so then if you kind of like realize the urgency of that could bring one back to wakefulness. So that's a few suggestions about sleepiness. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Are you here from California or somewhere else?
Oh, no, I'm from Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Oh, great. And have you been in this class before?
I was in it. My first time joining was last Sunday. I did both the meditation and the sutta study.
Great. Well, I'm glad to see you. And if this is beneficial, then I hope you'll keep coming back.
Thank you. I definitely will be.
Yeah. I'll call on Maggie.
You asked the question about getting grounded first. It's very important for me. I call it becoming embodied because it's too much. I operate, up there, and coming into the body is really an important initial experience for me in meditation. But my first teacher also, she did with us quite a lot frequently. The meditation where you go through the different, I'm blanking on the name of it, when you go through the different parts of the body and focus on each one of them. And sometimes we would do that the whole entire hour.
Mm-hmm.
it was really incredibly helpful for me. I mean, it helped me at that point in my life come in for a landing, I said.
There's a wonderful meditation that's given by Ayya which involves taking the parts of the body and imagine, I think it's called zipper meditation. You imagine you opening yourself up, and then you reach outside and you take out your kidneys and put them on the ground in front of you, and take out your stomach and take out all the inside parts and take out the bones and put them down in front of you. You take out the urine and you take out the blood and then put it there in front of it and then contemplate it in front of you. And then, the sort of the punchline of the meditation is about where is the self after you've discarded all the parts of the body, including the heart, including the brain. Then what's left? And so that with a body contemplation and a contemplation of non-self comes together in a way that's very powerful. There's many formats like that that can be used for the reviewing the different parts of the body, which is extremely helpful and beneficial to make our practice to be grounded in reality. Because this is our reality. We live inside of a body. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Chintana, will you give a blessing?
I can. I would like to say also, though, between you and Ayya, that's how I have learned to meditate. And to all of you, many of Ayya's teachings, Dhamma teachings, are online for free. And I encourage you to listen to those. It's very in line with what Ayya Sobhana here teaches. So just wanted to say that. And also one other thing, what about staying awake with a cup of coffee? Is that frowned on?
I can hardly frown on coffee because I have a pretty strong coffee habit. Using energizing medicines is something that's not uncommon.
Yeah.
To do without is also can be a good practice. I would say that using medicating one's mood in that way does have a tendency of sort of like a clipping off the highs and lows of one's emotional roller coaster. And so but it's a very artificial way. It's not really the skillful way to
Right.
moderate the roller coaster of life or the roller coaster of emotions. So.
Okay, and now I can say a blessing.
Yes, please.
All right. May we all be well, happy, peaceful, and prosperous. May no harm come to us. May no difficulties come to us. May we always be blessed and able to deal with what is naturally coming into our lives. And a special blessing for all those in the earthquake and Thailand, that they are able to reach their highest self and able to be calm and loving towards those in need. And thank you so much for teaching us, Ayya. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
We can close by paying respects to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. The Lord, the perfectly enlightened and blessed one, I render homage to the Buddha, the Blessed One. The teachings so completely explained by him, I bow to the Dhamma. The Blessed One's disciples who have practiced well, I bow to the Sangha. Thank you, everyone, for your patient listening this morning.
Thank you, Ayya.
Thank you, Ayya.
Thank you, Ayya.